Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the nomenclature of elements having atomic number greater than 100. Okay, so how we can give name for elements having atomic number greater than 100. Okay. So for elements also in compounds in chemistry, for elements and also organic compounds in chemistry, they are usually having two names. Two names means one is a common name, that is known as trivial name. What is a common name? Trivial name. Okay. And it may be based on their origin, physical appearance, based on some physical properties, etc. Putting the name, common name or trivial name. Okay. And the second name is official name. Official name means what? We are using that officially only. Okay. For us also, most of us are having two names. Okay. One name is official and other name usually we will call some pet name. Okay. So like that, the pet name or elements we can call it as common name or trivial name, and the second one is second one is official name. Okay. So we know, for us, who is putting our name, our parents are putting the name, putting the name. Okay. So like that, the compounds in chemistry, the elements and compounds in chemistry, the nomenclature is done according to the rule of IUPAC. Okay. What is IUPAC, IUPAC. Okay. So what is IUPAC means? International U for Union, okay, International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry, okay. So what is IUPAC? International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. This year, finally, first year, this year exam, last year exam it was there. What is the full form of IUPAC, okay. So IUPAC means International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. So IUPAC is, according to the IUPAC, some rules are there. Based on those rules only we are putting the name for elements here. Okay. So according to this IUPAC rules, you have to know some roots to put the root words or roots to put the name. Okay. So many rules they are given to put the name nomenclature, to give the name for the element, but we don't want to by heart that one, because they will ask only the examples, they will not ask the rules. But in that, the important rules I will explain to put the name of the element. Okay. So first it is you have to learn some roots. Okay. Roots means, here you can see zero. Roots for 0 is nil, N-I-L, nil. Okay. Here, roots for 1 equal to UN. Okay. Un. Okay. For 2, it is BI. For 3, it is tri, P-R-I, tri. So, 4, it is quad, Q-U-A-D, quad. And for 5, it is given pent. And for 6, it is given hex. And for 7, it is sept. Okay. Then 8, it is opt. And for 9, it is ENN. Okay. So, these are the roots. So you have to learn by heart these roots, then only you can give the name of the element. Okay. And the second thing is the name of the element. Okay. It should end with IUM. What is the, it will end with IUM. Okay. The name of an element should end with IUM according to the IUPAC rule. Okay. So how we can get the name of an element means, we have to just add the roots together and end the name with IUM. Okay, so that's all you have to know. Okay, so we will explain the examples. Okay, then we have to know to write its symbol. After writing the name of the element, we will write the symbol. I will tell you. Okay, so now we will take example 101. Z means the atomic number of that element is 101. So how we can write the nomenclature? We can give the name, which name, common name or trivial name. Okay, because official name also there. If they are asking question, write the nomenclature, give the nomenclature of 101 means you have to write this one only. How means 101. So for 1, okay. So what is the root here? It is for 1, it is, you know, UN. So UN. Okay. Then for 0, what is the root here? Nil, N-I-L. Okay. Then again 1 is coming, right? So for 1 again it is what? UN. So just adding up. Then we should end with IUM. Just we have to add IUM. So what is we can call it as Unnil Unniyam. Okay, Unnil Unniyam. You can pronounce as your thing because the writing is important. Unnil Unniyam. Okay. Then, so how we can write the symbol of this element means just you have to take the initial letter of all the roots. Okay. Here it was one, for one it was un. So what is the initial letter? U. So U. Capital letter you have to write here and here also first one. Okay. Then the second root is nil. For 0 it was. So N. So N. Okay. Then the last one again 1. So what is that? UN. Un. Okay. So U. So this is U here. So what is the symbol? UNU. So how we can write the symbol? Just you have to take the initial letter of all the roots. Then you can write the symbol. Okay. So how we can write the nomenclature for 101? Unnil Unniyam. Okay. So its IUPAC or official name, it is IUPAC official name is Mendelevium, because the scientist Mendelevium discovered that, not Gregor Mendel, that is in bio. Okay, Mendelevium discovered that. That is why the name Mendelevium it is given, and the official symbol is MD. Okay, so we have to learn this much only. That part no need of learning. If you are interested, means you can learn as a science student. Okay. Then 102. 102 means what? 1 means what? UN. Then 0, nil. Then 2. 2 means what we know? BI. For 2, what is the root word? BI. Okay, already it is BI is there. So, no need of adding again IUM. The name should end IUM. Okay, so BI is there. So, only UM you have to add. Because already I is there. So, just you have to add UM. So, that is the name of 102 Unnil BM. Then how we will give the symbol? Un. U, first letter U. Nil, N, first letter. Okay. Then BI, first letter is B, UNB. Okay. Then next I will write, which one I will write? 106. 1 means what? Un. Okay. 0 means what? Nil. Then 6 means how much it is given? Hex, no? Hex, sept, oct, then N, ENN. Okay, so 6 means hex. So hex. Here no I, so we have to put IUM. Hexium, Unnil Hexium. So how we can write the symbol? First one is Un, so I will take U. Then nil, I will take N. Then hex, so I will take H. Okay. Then 117. How we will write? For 1, we know for 1 what is the root word? Un. Right. Then again 1 is coming, so again we have to write Un. So first letter should be capital. Okay. Un. 7. 7 means what? Sept. IUM. So what is the name? Un septium. Okay. So like that you can write the name of any element having atomic number greater than 100. First thing you have to know what? The roots. What are the roots for? 0 it is nil, 1 it is un, 2 it is bi, 3 it is tri. Okay. Then 4 it is quart, and 5 it is pent, then 6 it is hex, 7 it is sept, then 8 it is oct, and 9 it is ENN. Okay, ENN. Okay, after that you have to know the name of an element should end with IUM. In case of 2, that is VI, only you have to add UM. Okay, in case of tri also, because tri means what? TRI is there, so you have to add only UM at the end. Okay, so clear all of you how we can write the nomenclature of elements having atomic number greater than 100. Okay, so you have to know the roots. We are moving to one term, that is periodicity and its causes. Okay, so what is periodicity? Periodicity means if you are checking elements in the periodic table, okay, with the increasing atomic number. In the periodic table, we know the elements are arranged in the increasing atomic number, okay. So after a regular interval of time, okay, the properties are repeated or reoccurrence of properties are happen, okay. So if the elements are arranged in the periodic table according to their increasing atomic number, okay. So if you are checking after a regular interval of time, the properties are repeated or reoccurrence of the properties are happening, okay. So that repetition or reoccurrence of the properties after regular interval in periodic table is known as what? Periodicity, okay. So here you can see, we know the in periodic table I explained, this is the down, it is known as vertical columns are known as groups, and this is known as what? Horizontal columns are known as what? Periods, okay. This is groups and this is periods, okay. So if you are moving from left to right along the period, lithium is atomic number 3, beryllium 4, boron 5, carbon 6, nitrogen 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9 and neon 10, okay. Then after that it is coming sodium 11. What is the sodium? So if you are checking this lithium and sodium, they are under same group, okay. So this lithium and sodium is having similar properties, okay. That means after a regular interval of time, the properties of the elements are repeating or reoccurrence of the properties is taking place. That is known as what? Periodicity, okay. What is the reason for this periodicity? Means if you are checking the lithium means atomic number 3, right? So how we can write the electronic configuration? 1s2 2s1 lithium atomic number 3, so 2 plus 1 3, okay. Then next one is coming sodium, okay. Sodium means the atomic number is 11, so how I will write? 1s2 2s2 2p6, so how much over 6 plus 2 8 plus 2 10, then 3s1, okay. So the electrons in the outermost shell, this shell is known as the outermost shell and it is known as the valence electrons. The electrons present in the outermost shell is known as what? Valence electrons, okay. And here this is the valence electrons, okay. The electrons present in the outermost shell is known as what? Valence electrons, okay. So these valence electrons are responsible for this periodicity, okay. That means the repeated same electronic configuration of the elements leads to the periodicity. Same valence electronic configuration, not simple electronic configuration, same valence electronic configuration of the elements leads to the periodicity, okay. So what is the reason for periodicity? Same valence electronic configuration. If you are checking here also S1 is there in case of lithium, and here also which one is there? S1 is there in the case of sodium. So they are having same valence electronic configuration, okay. So this same valence electronic configuration is lead to the same the properties, okay, that leads to the periodicity, okay. So periodicity means in a periodic table after a regular interval of time, the reoccurrence or repetition of the properties are taking place. That is known as what? Periodicity, okay. Then one more term, periodic trends, okay. Periodic trends. What is meaning of periodic trend? Means what? It is the change in properties and the variation in properties and position of the elements in periodic table is known as what? Periodic trends, okay. Variation in position and properties, and position of elements in the periodic table is known as what? Periodic trends, okay. So next we are moving to atomic radii, okay. Atomic radii means what is it? It is the radius of atom, okay. So what is an atomic radii? Means if you are checking an atom, this is an atom, right? Okay. So this is nucleus. And we know around the nucleus what is that? Orbits are there, and these orbits are in KLMN shells are there around the nucleus. This is a K shell and other shell means what is that, L shell, then again M shell, it will be like that. Okay, so cells are there. So it is the distance between the nucleus and the outermost shell for a particular atom or for a particular element. The electron will be in the last shell. Okay, so what is electron, which shell it is, the electron is there in the last, electron is present in the which shell. Okay, so that shell, okay, so the outermost shell and the distance between the nucleus and the outermost shell of an atom is known as what, atomic radius. Okay, if you are taking small atoms like lithium atom, only 3 electrons are there. Okay, so the electrons will be present in the L shell. Okay, so that distance between this nucleus and the outermost shell is known as what, atomic radius. Okay, so this atomic radius, it is, we know atom is having very small size, so measuring the atomic radius is not easy. So that is why we have to take two atoms, adjacent atoms, they should touch each other. Okay, we have to take the atoms of same elements, touch each other, and we have to measure the distance, internuclear distance. This is the nucleus of this atom and this is the nucleus of the second atom. They are touched, okay, each other, and we have to measure the distance between the two nucleus, that is known as internuclear distance. That will give the diameter of these atoms. Okay, so the half of this, that is radius, equal to d by 2. Okay, after finding out, because it is, if you are considering an atom, it is very small, so it is very difficult to measure the atomic radius. So we have to take minimum 2 atoms touch each other, and we have to take the internuclear distance, and half of this internuclear distance will get the radius of the atomic radius. Okay, so R equal to d by 2. So simply we can define atomic radius means it is a distance between the nucleus of an atom to the outermost shell. Okay, in case of non-metals means, if you are checking in the periodic table, nitrogen, oxygen, etc., non-metals, they are gas, right? Okay, so in case of non-metals, we are using, in place of atomic radius, we can use covalent radius. What is the term we are using? Generally we can use atomic radius, but if you are telling in case of non-metals like gas molecules are there, no, we can use covalent radius. So how we can define covalent radius? Why it is a covalent radius means, in case of non-metals, the bond present is covalent bond. Covalent bond means it is formed by the sharing of electrons. It is coming in chemical bonding chapter, we will discuss later. Okay, so now you have to know, in non-metals like gas molecules and all, the bond present is covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed by the sharing of electrons. Okay, so how we can define a covalent bond in case of non-metals? It is the half of the distance between the nucleus of two atoms joined by which bond? Covalent bond. Okay, so this bond present in non-metals will be which bond? Covalent bond. Okay, so it is a half of the distance between two atoms joined by which bond? Covalent bond. That is known as what? Covalent radius in case of non-metals. So in case of the metals, okay, so how we can define, use the term, which term? Metallic radius. What is this? Metallic radius. So metallic radius means what? It is the half of the internuclear distance that is separating metal cores in a metal crystal. That means in a structure of a metal. Okay, in a structure of metal means what? It will have a crystal structure. In that many metals will be there. Okay, so the half of the distance between any two metals. Okay, so that half of the nucleus distance, internuclear distance between any two metals. Okay, that is known as the metal core. In metal crystals we will get which one? The metallic radius. Metallic radius means what? It is the half of internuclear distance that's separating metal cores in a metal crystal. So you have to know, in case of non-metals we are using covalent radius, the term covalent radius, and in case of metals we are using which term? Metallic radius. Okay, so next very important very important topic based on atomic radius. Variation of atomic radius along the period. How it is happening if you are moving from left to right in the periodic table. Suppose this is a periodic table. If you are moving from left to right means along the period. Okay. Top to bottom means what is that? It is down the group. Top to bottom means what? It is down the group. Okay. Now first we are taking along the period. That means from left to right. What will happen to the atomic radius? Okay. So if you are moving from left to right along the period, atomic radius decreases. Okay. So if you are moving along the period from left to right, atomic radius decreases. What is the reason for it? They will ask, what is the tendency along the period? What is happening to the atomic radius? Okay. You have to explain. It is decreases. Why it is decreases means if you are moving from left to right, for example, if you are checking from lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. Okay. So if you are checking from, if you are going from left to right, atomic number increases from 1 unit. Okay. So here it was 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you are moving from left to right, atomic radius increases by 1 unit. That means a number of protons increases and also number of electrons increases, right? Okay. So in the nucleus, the charge of the nucleus is due to which one? Proton. We know nucleus consists of proton and neutron. Neutron is a neutral. It is not having any charge, but proton is having positive charge. Okay. So the nuclear charge is due to which one? The number of protons, or due to the presence of proton. Okay. So if you are moving from left to right, what will happen? Atomic number increases. That is why the number of proton increases and also the nuclear charge. That means the positive charge will increases. Okay. But the electron number is also increasing, but the electrons are adding to the same subshell. Okay. For example, if you are checking this one, 1s2. Lithium, if you are checking 1s2, so the 2 electrons will go to this shell. Okay. Then 2s1, second one 2s1, so the second electron will go to, the 1 electron will be here. So in case of lithium. Okay. Then next one, if you are taking beryllium, beryllium means atomic number 4. Atomic number 4 means how we will write the electronic configuration for beryllium. For beryllium, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2. Okay. So we know compared to lithium, only one more electron is there. See here, if you are checking the shell, KLMN shells are there. If you are checking that one, the K shell can accommodate 2 electron, L shell can accommodate 8 electron, M shell can accommodate 8 electron. It will be like that, 2, 8, 8, 18, 18. 32 order that increase. Okay, in this this stage it is not required for you, just for explaining this one I am telling. Okay, so one more extra electron is there in the case of beryllium, so that electron will be added to L shell only, because L is having the ability to accommodate 8 electrons, right? So the electron will be added to here only. Okay, but if you are moving to beryllium compared to lithium, what is happening? One more proton is added, right? Because atomic number is increased. So in case of beryllium, lithium, it was only 3 protons, so the 3 positive charge. But in case of beryllium, what is happening? 4 proton. Okay, so nuclear charge increased, one more positive charge is increased, but the electrons are in the same subshell. So what will happen? The force of attraction, proton is having positive charge and electron is having negative charge, and this electron is not, what is that, not protected or shielded by, if it is, this electron is here means what is happening, the distance will be increased from the nucleus, so the electrons in the inside will protect or shield the electron. Okay, but here in this case beryllium, the electron will be added to the same subshell of the lithium. Okay, so what is happening, the positive charge, one positive charge is increased for beryllium okay, but the electron are on the same distance. So due to increasing the nuclear charge, what will happen? The electrons will be attracted towards the nucleus. Okay, so attracted towards the nucleus means what will happen? Attraction. So the size of the atom decreases. That means atomic radius decreases. Okay, so atomic radius decreases. What is the reason? Means if you are moving along the period, the nuclear charge increased by increasing the atomic number, but the electrons are added to the same subshell. So that is why what will happen? The electrons are not shielded, they are pulled towards the nucleus. Pulling means what will happen? It will shrink. Okay, so that is why the atomic radius decreases. Clear? So if you are checking the next one also, boron also, what will happen? Boron also, one more electron will be added, 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1. So one more electron will be added to the same subshell and the positive charge will increase it up to 5. Okay, so what will happen? The nuclear charge, the nuclear charge will be increased. So attraction will be more. That is why the size of the atom decreases. That's the atomic radius decreases along the period. Okay, so if you are checking, there is a graph, it is given. Okay, so here atomic radius is given in this y-axis, atomic radius, and here it is said atomic number. Okay, that means with increasing atomic number, how atomic radius is vary or change. Here you can see, if you are checking lithium, it is 123 is atomic radius. Then for beryllium it is 90. Then for boron 80, nitrogen 75, fluorine 72. So you can see from lithium to, if you are moving up to fluorine, it is given. So it is changed or it is decreased from 123 to 72. That means if we are moving along the period, what is happening? Atomic radius decreases. What is the main reason for that? Increase in nuclear charge. So clear all of you? What is atomic radius and how is the variation along the period? Next is the variation of atomic radius down the group. So first we explain the variation of atomic the variation in atomic radius along the period. Okay. Now the variation of atomic radius down the group. If you are moving down the group, what will happen? Okay. If you are moving down the group, atomic radius increases. Along the period it was decreasing. If you are moving down the group, atomic radius increases. Mainly two reasons are there for increasing atomic radius. First reason means if you are moving down the group, the number of shells increases. Number of shells increases. That means the distance between the nucleus and the valence electron, outermost electron, will be increased. Okay. So that's the first thing. So here I will explain you. First one. See, if you are checking lithium, lithium is having the atomic number 1s2, 2s1. Right, okay. So here if the shell I will draw, here this is the nucleus and it is having atomic number 3 means proton, number of proton is 3. Okay, so that's why I mentioned 3 proton. So the first 2 electron will go to this shell and the second one, one electron will go to here. Okay, in case of lithium. Okay, then if you are moving the one first group, I am taking which group? Alkali metals, that is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. We know these are alkali metals, that is group 1. Next member in this group is sodium. So if you are checking sodium, atomic number is 11. What is the atomic number? 11. So the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. Then total we will get 11. Okay. So 11 means the atomic number 11 means how many protons are there? 11 protons are there. So 11 protons. Okay. 11 protons are there in the nucleus. Okay. Then the second 2 electrons in the first one. 2 electrons will go to the first shell. That means in the first shell maximum 2 electrons can be accommodated. In the second shell maximum 8 electrons can be accommodated. Okay. So 8 electrons can be accommodated means what? 2s2, 2p6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 8 electrons can be accommodated. So that 8 electron is over. So here lithium 1, 2 second shell. Here in second shell it is over. Then one more electron is there. That electron will be there in the next shell. Third shell. Okay. So if you are checking, in case of lithium, the distance between this nucleus and this electron is less compared to here. Okay, so if you are moving down the group, what will happen? The number of shells increases. Here it was 2, here it has become 3. Number of shells increases. That means the distance between the nucleus and the outermost electron. Outermost electron means valence electron increases. Okay, then second thing is the filled shells. The filled shells, okay, the number of filled shells between the valence electron increases. Okay, that means if you are checking here only 2 valence electrons are there between the nucleus and valence electron. Here what is that? If you are checking here, in case of sodium 1, 2, 3, that means number of shells increased. That means the number of filled shells increases with increasing the atomic number. Okay, so first thing is what? If you are moving down the group, number of shells increases. That is why the distance between the nucleus and the valence electron increases. Okay, then second thing is the number of filled shells increases if you are moving down the groups. Okay, so due to these two reasons, we know the force of attraction between nucleus and the valence electron. Valence electron means what? Outermost electron decreases. Okay, because the number of shells are increasing, so the electrons are going far away from the nucleus. So the force of attraction between the nucleus and the valence electron increases. That means what is the attractive force between the nucleus and valence electron decreases. That is why the atomic radius increases. Okay, so if you are moving down the group, the number of shells increases and the filled shells also increases. That is why the distance between the nucleus and outermost electrons increases. Okay, so that is why the attractive force between the nucleus and outermost electron decreases. Decreases means what? There is no pulling of shell or electron towards the nucleus. There is no attractive force. If it is attractive force only, it will pull and the atomic radius will decreases. It will shrink. But there is no pulling. Nuclear charge is decreased or attractive force is decreased. That is why the atomic radius increases if we are moving down the group. Clear? What is the reason? They will ask. Okay. So if you are checking, this is a graph. Okay. Here which one will be there? Atomic radius. Here it is atomic radius in the y-axis. Here it is Z. Z means what? Atomic number. So if you are checking here, the lithium it is having 152. Okay, then sodium it is increased up to 186. Then for potassium, K means potassium K, it is increased up to 231. Then rubidium it is increased up to 244. Then cesium it is 262. Okay. So that means if you are moving down the group from any group, if you are checking here, it is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. The first group I taken as the example. If you are checking any group, the atomic radius increases down the group. What is the reason? I told, with increasing the atomic number of shells increases. That is why the attractive force between the nucleus and valence shell decreases. So that is why the atomic radius increases down the group. So clear all of you. Today's topic, that is very important topic. It was related to the atomic radius along that is a very important topic, and nomenclature also. Okay. So clear all of you today's topic. Okay. Hope all of you understood today's class. Okay. Thank you girls.